Hello and welcome to the University of Law. I just had to make this video because I'm so excited about it. We got some news yesterday about the Eighth Doctor Adventures for this year, and it looks like we're going back in time. So you can see from this front cover that it's clearly an earlier version of the Eighth Doctor to what we've seen recently. Bar some Charlie box sets and Lucy Miller box sets, it's always been following chronologically since 2001. It has always followed his story onwards and upwards, which has been great. And I've loved every companion group, and I've loved every version of it. However, we have had, thinking about it now, 10 years since, well, 11 years since Dark Eyes, it's kind of been the same ongoing story with the Doctor, Liv, and Helen over time. And I love the characters, and it's been brilliant. However, I did enjoy seeing Liv with the Ninth Doctor and seeing hearing her own spin-off. I think it is nice now to kind of give those characters a little break for a bit, and explore some different ground with those characters. So see if we can do something different with Liv, and certainly we've certainly explored Liv in different ways. And we're going to see Helen in a different context as well. But I've guessed it would be nice to see the Eighth Doctor differently, and that's what they're doing this year. I do particularly prefer the earlier Eighth Doctor. I think he's more optimistic and energetic, and I do prefer that element of his character. Whereas it kind of gets a bit darker as he gets toward, closer to his fate in the Time War. But of course, we're still getting Time War box sets. We're still getting those. There's a great cast box set was out in January, and that thread's clearly going to continue. So that's really fun. But actually, to be able to get two box sets this year about an earlier Eighth Doctor, I'm just really, really excited about that. So it's called Audacity, and there's a few things to note about the box set. So first of all, we've got a new companion, which I'll tell you about in a moment. It's going to be a 5. So this box set's got 3 stories in this first box set, but it's going to be 5 stories in total across 2 box sets. And this is clearly going to be a sequel to Revenge of the Cybermen. We've got a great cyber fleet above it. We've got the Eighth Doctor's TARDIS behind him. We've got like a strange Jaws behind him here. We've got the Revenge of the Cybermen Plus. We've got it looks like a version of Nerva crashing behind them, just here in the corner. If I can get there, just there. And I can't believe I've forgotten their name. The creatures that were also in the same story, Revenge of the Cybermen, I've forgotten their name, but they're clearly back as well. And I think down here you can read the word Gallifrey. But this is great because this very much evokes the early Eighth Doctor stuff, which the Cybermen were really his monsters early on. More so than the Daleks. He did very few Dalek stories, and now obviously we've had loads of them as we're getting towards the Time War. But at the start, he was very much a Cyberman Doctor. I always associated him with the Cybermen through Sword of Orion, Human Nature, all those stories as well. But I think since To the Death of Daleks have become his biggest nemesis. I think since the revival series in 2005, he's become more of a Dalek Doctor. But obviously notably, so we've got Vogons. That's it, the Vogons. We've got a Vogan down there. We've got the Cybermen from Revenge of the Cybermen. We've got a cyber fleet attacking a planet. We've got, looks like a space station, perhaps the remnants of Nerva. New companion, which we'll go into in a minute. And Eighth Doctor, of course, is in this costume, which, first of all, I'm sure the picture of his face is from a high quality negative of one of the stills. We know in the little booklets of Big Finish, they always take a few pictures, don't they, when they're recording. I'm sure that's taken from McGann, probably in the early 2000s, when he's recording with them. It looks like it is. And it's probably one of the people who designed the cover posing in a cosplay, which I know that they do a lot with Tom Baker, and they've managed to merge the face and the body together. But it's a great costume. And it is the Eighth Doctor's costume from the comic strips, the Doctor Who magazine comic strips, which take place before the Charlie stuff. Because the before Charlie it was Sharda, and before that it was Mary Shelley, and it was also the Samson and Gemma stuff. And before that, from the Company of Friends, before he meets Mary, he has his novel and comic strip adventures. So this looks as though it's being set pre-Charlie. It's very, very much at the start. It's a completely fresh slate. I mean, I've wanted them to do comic strip adaptations for a while with the Eighth Doctor, or even some novel adaptations, but especially the comic strips. But it's been great to actually see at least we're getting some kind of exploration of this era. So it talks about how since 2001 we've had an extended run of adventures, but now to go back in time to meet an unexplored era of the Doctor's timeline. So Jay Griffiths is going to be playing a noble woman called Lady Audacity Montague from Regency England. we're going to see the war between the Cybermen and the Vogons. Ah, so it's a prequel to Revenge of the Cybermen. It's not a sequel at all, it's a prequel to Revenge of the Cybermen. And it could even be a prequel, really, to what we've seen with the Eighth Doctor and Sword of Orion. So it could be set pre-Charlie, and it's setting up, adding a little bit of extra context to that story for the Eighth Doctor as well, that he's got this history of having seen the battle himself. Yes, that sounds really exciting. And of course, it's similar, the companion's similar to Mary Shelley, I guess, having a noblewoman from Regency England. I guess she was a bit later. But no, it was about the same time. Well, a little bit earlier, Mary Shelley, I guess. But again, it meets the whole Edwardian theme of the Eighth Doctor and the kind of Byron-esque image. So David Richardson's is exploring a different era of his time. What's interesting is he does kind of talk about this is before Lucy Miller, but he doesn't say it's before Charlie Pollard. So, to me, that suggests that this is set between the Charlie Pollard stuff and the Lucy Miller stuff, because there is a gap there. We don't know what he was doing between them, so there certainly is a gap there. And maybe he's suggesting that that's where the comics and novels take place. Maybe they aren't pre-Storm Warning. But certainly there are pre-Storm Warning stories, because he references Mary Shelley in that, and he references Mary Shelley in Shada, which means Shada is pre that. Samson and Gemma were also pre that as well, we know from Terra Firma, so it could be either. I think certainly the costume suggests that it is pre Charlie Pollard, and I thought that's a whole new era suggests that. But then there is a whole new era between Charlie and Lucy, and it only mentions being before Lucy here. I guess we'll get more context as we get closer to release later this year, November, December. This really is in the anniversary month. I'm so glad this is such a treat to get the anniversary year, so I'm so excited. Obviously, Gray Griffiths played a character in the latest cast box set, so it looks like there's going to be some connections there. That'll be fun, because I know certainly in his first adventure with Mary Shelley, had a connection. It was two Eighth Doctors. There was a earlier Eighth Doctor and a later Eighth Doctor from the end of his life, so that sounds quite fun. Whether there's some connections, some timey-wimey Time War connections there as well. So yeah, so it's Audacity's the first box set, and then it's In the Bleak Midwinter. Again, sounds very much Regency, Victorian. Very much that early Eighth Doctor, that feel, that Byron feel. And yeah, they're £20 each on CD, or £17 each on download. Or you can bundle them for £38 on CD or £33 on download. So in Audacity, we've got The Devouring, one part by Lisa McMullen. Great writer. Tim Foley, another great writer. 2-part of The Great Cyber War. Sounds like a great title. And in the second box set, we've got 24 Doors in December. Oh, nice Christmas story for the Christmas month. John Dorney, Need I Say More? The Empty Man by Tim Foley. And Winter of Doom by Winter of the Demon, I should say, by Roy Gill, another great writer. So great, great set of writers there. Fantastic. And I think, yeah, that's all there is to it. So that, for me, that is the big thing, is where is this set exactly? I know it doesn't really matter, but what do you think? I think certainly the fact that the costume suggests it's pre-Charlie, and the Cyber War would suggest that it works as a prequel not only for the Cybermen, but also a prequel for him, knowing what we've seen in Sword of Orion. But then it does suggest that it's post-Charlie, because it only says pre-Lucy, but not sure. All a part of the fun, isn't it? And of course there could well be a connection with the Time War here. They're certainly hinting at that, aren't they? Which is really a bit like Enterprise, the Star Trek series, that had some elements of the Temporal Cold War from the future. It's both a prequel and a sequel at the same time. Can't wait. Did not see this coming at all. What are your thoughts? Do let me know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. I look forward to speaking to you soon.